Hi, today we're going to learn about digital citizenship. In this lesson, you're going to learn what a digital citizen is and why it's important to you. You're going to learn about your digital footprint. We'll look into security online, how to source information correctly and safely, and a little bit about civil discourse. So, what is a digital citizen anyway? As a user of technology and the internet, you are a digital citizen. Good digital citizenship is being knowledgeable and safe and effective use of technology. This is also referred to as digital literacy. We'll divide digital citizenship into four main tiers. So let's talk about a digital footprint. What is that anyway? Well, did you know that anytime you go online, you leave a trail of data behind? It doesn't matter if you're on social media making posts, if you're buying something online or sending money to your friend using an app, sending emails, or even sending texts. All of those things leave a digital footprint or data that somebody else could access. In fact, even if you so much as go in and like a post on social media, that is information that someone could see at a later time. So why is it important? You may apply for a job, apply for a scholarship, or some other position where a person making a judgment about your character goes online to see what is this person all about. So you want to make sure that whatever you do today is something you can live with tomorrow. You always should put forth the best positive footprint possible. So how do I do that? Well, the first thing you can do is check the privacy settings on any social media accounts that you have. Make sure that only the people that you want to see your posts can see your posts. Also, never text, post, email in the heat of the moment. Sometimes we do get passionate about things, but before we post, we need to think about how our words and actions are going to come across. Practice empathy. Ask yourself if your post is going to adversely affect someone else. Is this going to hurt or embarrass someone, even if you think it is funny? And finally, make sure that you delete accounts that you no longer use. So take a minute to go to one or two of your favorite social media apps and rate yourself. Where would you fall for your digital footprint? If you fall in the category of, oops, you've made some mistakes, you may want to talk to an adult about how to make corrections to your digital footprint. Now let's talk about security. How do you stay safe online? Later, we're going to do an entire session on security. But for now, here are some tips that you can follow to stay safe. Make sure that you use a strong password. Never, ever share your passwords. If you're not sure what is meant by a strong password, you can go to this site and they'll help you with that. Set privacy on social media platforms and other apps to private. We talked about that once before. If you're not sure how to do that, this privacy primer lists some very easy steps that you can follow for the most popular apps. Always sign out of your devices and your accounts. I know that's a little bit more work, but that keeps other people from getting into your accounts and possibly posting things that you don't want posted or using your data. Install updates promptly. Only visit or download from secure sites. So how do I know if it's secure? If you look up in the address bar, you'll see HTTPS if it's a secure site. Sometimes you'll see a little lock. If you don't see these things, you need to be very suspicious and try not to visit those sites. In fact, if you're using a school computer, a lot of times those sites will be blocked. Learn how to spot phishing and other scams. Phishing is where someone posts a link or sends you an email that sounds legitimate but really isn't. And it can take you down a road of being exposed and sharing information that you don't want to share. So a lot of people think, I would never fall for that. Take this little quiz and see how you do. Never accept friend requests from strangers. And that includes friends of friends. Because if your friends have accepted a friend request from somebody they don't know or from somebody they think someone else knows, you may actually be accepting a friend request from someone who nobody knows. And of course, never, ever, ever meet with a person in person that you've met online. Also, don't send them personal information. I wouldn't even talk to them on the phone. So your assignment on this slide is to explore these links, take the quiz, and see where you rate yourself on security. So why do we go to the internet in the first place? Well, some of us go for entertainment and social networking, but in our classes, we normally go to the internet for information. So how do we know if the information that we find online is reliable or credible? And once I do find it, how do I give proper credit? Well, generally sites that end in .edu, .gov, .org, those are reliable sites. Not always. You should check these sites for political or financial bias and always look at the published dates. Is the material that's being posted up to date? Was it being posted during a crisis or during a campaign? That could influence opinions. Does the site list contact information? So go all the way to the bottom of your sites and see if it tells who's managing the sites. Is an email address given? Is a physical address given? If not, you need to be suspicious. If you enter a site that has pop-ups and clickbait, that's a red flag that you need to back out and go look somewhere else. Always stick with primary sources when possible. This means going to websites that specialize in the information you're looking for and not sites that are just reposting information from other sites. Follow the breadcrumbs to find out where the information originated from. And then cross-reference the information with at least 2 other sites. Now let's talk about giving credit where credit is due. Copying and pasting information that you find online is dishonest. It's not your own work. This is a form of plagiarism, in fact. Make sure that you're collecting information and you're creating your own ideas from information you've found. This includes using images, videos, music, anything online that's been copyrighted. It's actually illegal to post that without permission. Keep track of all of the URLs that you've searched so that you can easily cite sources. And remember, just citing a source for an image that is copyrighted is not okay. You'll want to look for free public domain sources for graphics and sound. And going back up to this point, when you do cite your sources, use an app that actually collects all of the information and puts it in the right order. It'll save you lots of time and it'll make sure that you're correct. One source or one site is EasyBib. There's a link here if you'd like to try it out. So in this presentation that I've done, you may be thinking, wow, she has a lot of really fun and cool images. I actually went to a place called Slidesgo that gave me all of these images and permission to post and use these images and all of these slides as long as I gave them credit. Last but not least, how do we speak to each other online? Civil discourse just means how we engage in a productive dialogue with the goal of enhancing understanding among parties. When you're on discussion boards or in argument sessions with each other, we need to make sure that we are focusing on understanding and not on winning an argument. Here's a portion of a video with a student your age that had a very interesting experience with social dialogue.
My name is Cameron Caskey. I am 18 years old now. After a horrible tragedy at my school, my friends and I came together to try to change the narrative of school shootings.
Our job is to protect our country, and if our elected officials aren't doing it, we have to step up.
So we came together and started a movement that was very much mobilized by social media. We were tweeting out a lot. We were using our Instagram to connect with other people and show them our messaging in a really accessible way. We didn't really plan to do a social media-based movement. We planned to do a movement, and we didn't even think about what it was like to base it in social media, because that's just how we interact with each other. And it was hard. And over the course of the year, we have been harassed online. I received countless death threats. I received very lewd images in my Instagram direct messages. We were attacked like adults, but we were not defended like kids. I have personally said things online that I'm sure I'll look at as an adult and not be very thrilled about. And a lot of us learned a lot about how we interact with each other in social media. There are a lot of things about the Parkland movement that I think are amazing, and a lot of things I regret, but one thing I can tell you that is my point of pride after all of this is that people don't remember Parkland as the city that was destroyed. People remember Parkland as the city that was strong and brave enough to stand up and say, we are not going to let you get away with another one of these. The one lesson I wish I had learned before all of this started was that the internet, while it's not real life, is becoming a part of it. It's all about remembering that the social media exists to supplement personal connections and not replace them. Behind every single account on Twitter, unless they're a bot, there's a human being typing. And that person might not realize just who they're interacting with. So you feel like it doesn't mean anything, and you feel like the people who see your comments aren't affected by it. We are now a part of this large ocean of connection, and it's now our job to be responsible. We need to hold ourselves accountable so somebody else doesn't do it for us. I used to look down on people. I put myself on a pedestal, and I encouraged a lot of my friends to do it as well. I treated people who disagreed with me like they weren't as good human beings as I was. I did a town hall debate at CNN. Emotions were high, and just a week ago, people that I loved were killed. I went up and asked my Senator, Marco Rubio, if he would stop taking money from the NRA.
Can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future?
And I wish I had stopped it there, but before that, I compared him to the likeness of the shooter from my school. I became part of the problem because I went up there on that debate to make another human being look bad as a human being and not as a politician. Because I wanted to go up there and embarrass him. I wanted to ruin his career. I did not do that to benefit the conversation. I did not do that to benefit our discourse as human beings. I did that to make another person look bad. I learned a lesson from it, and I'm thrilled that we went out there, and I'm thrilled that we were able to make this conversation such a national topic. But at the end of the day, I'm never gonna do something like that again.
There's more to this video, and I invite you to watch it, but it's getting a little long, and I think you've heard the message. Is remember, there's always someone on the other side of the argument. And like I said earlier, we are going to be engaging in argument in civil discourse. So what I would like for you to do as a class is to go to this Padlet link. I'm going to go ahead and so if you've never used Padlet before, the way that you add new posts is you're just going to double click on the screen, and then you can give your comment a subject if you would like, and then you can further develop the norm that you would like to add. After you've done that, you'll hit publish, and it'll add it to our site. Now, you'll see when you come in that other people have added norms. You can like a norm if you agree that that would be a good one, and maybe you have questions or comments about the norm, like I was thinking the same thing. Okay, now remember, with your comments that you're adding, we're practicing good social discourse. You should plan on adding one comment, one of these sticky notes, and commenting on one or two of the other students' additions. Pull that up here. We're at the end of our presentation, so you should now be able to do all of the following things that we set out to do. Don't forget to go back and follow the links and evaluate yourself in the different areas online. And as always, thank you. Be a good digital citizen.